Here's our first video in Unit 8 Form of 2 on solving equations by factoring. The key here when we do our factoring is we want our equation to equal 0. So if we can somehow make our equation look like this, we're ready to factor. Alright, again, here's your quadratic trinomial part right here. The ax squared plus bx plus c. That's not new, guys. But we want to equal it to 0. So if we look at our first example, that's what we have here. We have it equal 0. So we're just going to factor like we normally do. So let's go ahead and do that. Just doing our a times c, see what it multiplies to, and then add up to b. So that's going to be 6. That's -7. Let's see here. If we want a negative b, we want two negative numbers. -1 times -6. Well, that's -7. So we do our setup here. Alright. Because they're both a's, as we all know, it doesn't matter where we put them. -1, -6. So -1 goes right here. -6, as we know, goes right here. Again, they're single a's. We don't have to do any division. Our new step here that we have to do is we have to solve each part in our equation. We're going to set a minus 1 equals 0. And we're also going to do a minus 6 equals 0. So we're just solving some equations here. They're little short equations here. Just add our 1 here. A equals 1. Add our 6 here. A equals 6. So my answers are 1 and 6. Our second problem here. Notice how it doesn't equal 0. We don't have our equal 0 here. So before we do our factoring, we're going to actually subtract 10n first. Think about where the n term goes. If we want to keep the form, that's our b term right there. N squared minus 10n plus 24. Now it's ready to do our factoring. So we make our table here. A times c is 24. We're going to figure out factors that add up to -10. Alright, so let's see here. -2, -12, that equals -14. Okay, that doesn't work. Negative, well, it'll be -4 and -6. That equals -10. We do our setup again. N squared we know is n and n. Again, same thing as it was in the last problem. They're both n's. One n's anyway, so we're just going to throw in the numbers somewhere. Doesn't matter this time. Again, 1n goes into -6 and -6 times. Or you could do like -4 divided by the 1n there. Alright, -4 goes there. Nothing new. And then we solve each part. Don't forget that. That's important. We add our 4, we get n equals 4. We add our 6, we get n equals 6. So there's our answers here. Alright. Again, same thing. We do not have our equal 0 here. Let's take care of that here. Make sure we do that first. Think about what term that is. Is that our A term? Is that our B term? Or is that our C term? Well, that's our C term because it doesn't have the variable. So it's going to rewrite it as 5k squared minus 4k minus 12 equals 0. All right, a little harder here, but we still can do it. A times c, that's going to be negative 60. Adds up to negative 4. All right, so factors that add up to negative 4. Well, okay, so let's see here. If we did 5 and negative 12, that's negative 7, so that doesn't work. What about 6? 6 and negative 10. No, that equals negative 4 when we add them. All right, let's do our setup. See that 5 on your k squared? That goes in your first one. 5k and k. It's a prime number, so we just put 5 on one of the k's. Because there's a 5 and on one of them and not both, it matters where we put our 6 and our negative 10. 5 goes into a negative 10, not a 6. Not a 6, a negative 10. So we're going to have to put the negative 10 on the bottom one here. And then our 6 here. As we know, we divide. We're going to do negative 10 divided by 5 to figure out this number. That equals negative 2. We put our 6 up here, plus 6. And then do the same thing as we did on the other two problems. Set them equal to 0 and solve. This one's pretty quick here. We're just going to do add our 2, so k equals 2. Okay, we just added 2. Up here we got to do a couple steps. We're going to subtract 6. And then divide by 5. We get, we're going to keep that as a fraction. That's okay. K equals negative 6 over 5. All right, so there's one answer. There's another answer. Our last problem here. We have equals 0. That's what we want. And you know you should always look for a GCF, so let's do this. I think there's an m there. Well, in fact, I know there's an m there we can take out. M is a factor. Our other factor when we divide by m is m plus 5. Okay. Now we're going to set each factor equal to 0. Notice we don't do anything here. Nothing to do. That's an answer. And then we just subtract 5 here. So our two answers are 0 and negative 5. Alright, there you have it. This is solving by factoring. We just factor and set each factor equal to 0. Have a good day.